Hi, welcome back to Metal Rules TV, where the underground meets the playground. I'm your loyal and faithful co-host, Matt Givens.
I'm Jeff Rappaport.
I got really turned on by that, I gotta tell you. That was kind of awesome.
Mission?
Is that why you're yawning?
Well, no, I was actually stretching the muscles now.
Yeah. Wow.
And I'm Jerry.
You don't have to stretch them that much.
No, highly not. So I'm Jerry from Neshaminy Creek.
All right. So in the news, 5-finger death punch. Now we recently
Which
talked.
is a pretty fucking. I gotta say, that's a dumb fucking name for a band.
I'm with you.
It's
I'm with you.
Sentence metal.
like, what kind of fucking. I don't know. You gotta be really bored or high to come up with a name like that.
My issue with that is actually that it doesn't fit the band. It sounds like aggressive.
Well, how many. Well, first of all, you don't have 5 fucking fingers on the hand.
Yeah. There's
Right.
4 fingers.
Technically,
on
only
the thumb.
have, 4 fingers and an appendage.
So do you have to go like this?
And then 2, I mean, how else do you punch a person?
Right.
Are you like, are you trying to do a finger punch or something? I mean, like Bruce Lee style type shit?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the thing, is that you're going.
It's just a dumb name, man.
So you're not behind them at
No.
all.
The name, I'm not really the band either. I don't give a shit.
What about their music?
No, that's what I'm saying.
You don't like them
not
either?
Really. They're one of the bands I actually am familiar with, so that we're talking
I know they are, and I don't like
I'm
them.
not really into that band.
They recently entered to their studio, start recording their 4th album.
Yeah, you started to mention that we talked about them recently.
Yeah, Hideout Recording Studio. Actually made notes. We don't have Kenny Steffel here tonight.
No, we do not.
We actually talked about them, about the fact that each one of the records sells like 500,000 records, which is pretty damn impressive in this
In the post-download
in this day and
era,
age. Yeah.
I mean, that's actually something I think in metal in general is metal has a very, very distinct following, and if people are into a band, they're gonna buy records. I mean, that's why I think you see like I have some friends that are in some black metal bands that do really well, and I'm not gonna say I don't understand it, but like there's a following for that. Like like my really good buddy Tim is like super into like black metal and death metal and stuff, and I don't know of 90% of these bands, but like he's like, oh yeah, they're doing this tour and they're doing that tour, and I'm like, it's the following that these bands have. It kind of blows my mind, and so that's when you see a band that sells that many records, it doesn't surprise me because people that are into it are into it. I think it transcends whether the record's a CD, vinyl, or digital.
Right.
Well,
the thing is, the only thing with is this is a huge number because there's actually a website called I think it's on Metal Insider. It might be on. It has a thing called Metal by Numbers, and it actually will give you the 20 albums or about 20 albums or so. They come out each week, and they tell you actually how many records they sell. It's really depressing. They'd be like, Ringer's new album came out, sold 383 copies in the U.S. Like, wow, really? And then even like bands like I think
It sold 17 copies.
I think one of the better ones was like Testament, sold like 12,000 records.
dude, I love Testament. Too.
Yeah,
Testament's a fucking great band. I think doesn't get talked about enough is Exodus.
Mm.
I fucking love Exodus. That band's
Old Exodus.
Old Exodus, yeah.
Yeah, I love Exodus too. But so we were talking about this, and Kenny Steffel took it over, and he was like he
ran with it.
He ran with it. It was like I listened to it today. It was like 11 minutes. He talked 11 minutes about them, and it was pretty fascinating. Not really, but it was 11 minutes though. It was like he talked
100,000 records is a lot of fucking records though.
Yeah,
That's a gold record.
Each time they sell each record, they've sold that many.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
Well, they as I brought out in the other one, I went to a show of theirs because a friend of mine, hi Stacy, if you're watching this, is a big fan of theirs, and she actually paid for my ticket. I'm gonna be honest with you, because she owed me something, and
What did she owe you?
it was I forget what I lent her money or something. No, I didn't lend her money.
That wasn't erotic.
Yeah, it wasn't erotic at all. It wasn't a hot story.
Okay.
It was. I tried to be like, hey, you don't have to give me a concert ticket. Just give me your vagina. But no, anyway.
They were friends.
But it was the restraining order. That's a bad joke. I'm not going to tell her that I mentioned her in this clip. I don't want her to watch it.
I'm gonna tag her in it.
Asshole. What's I saying? Now I'm lost. Oh, and anyway, yeah, they had the Electric Factory packed. I mean, there was so many kids of all kind of age groups, very wide demographic from the looks of them. But they were all into them. So
So what I did, I was curious because the last time I talked about him, I think I told you that I just assumed I wouldn't like him, but I had a friend that was really into him, so I actually had gotten their CD for review when I think it was, I don't know why I was still getting it, like, but I got their CD for review and I gave it to my friend's wife, who actually really likes that band. She's always talking about him, so I was like, here, just have it. I never even listened to it. So I thought maybe I better like do a little research. Let me just like let me listen to a little Five Finger Death Punch and see what I think.
Yeah.
And I found it was like it seems like it's very uplifting. No, really, like not personally to me.
Do you feel like that band is like tapped into a hot topic, like?
Not really. I guess they're probably
Slightly
popular
older
in there.
demographic, maybe.
But
I feel like for some reason, because of the name, like dudes or not kids, I don't know what the fuck age they would be. Like, if you're like 18 and you didn't know anything about the band, you saw a band called Five Finger Death Punch, you're like, fuck, I'm gonna buy this.
yeah.
You know, like when I was a kid, that's what I, a lot of times, because we didn't have the luxury of the internet to like, know what.
Cannibal Corpse.
Yeah, shit
Yeah,
like
that's
that,
how I bought records too back in the day.
Manowar, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Anthrax, I'm buying this shit. Like
Sheep disease.
that stuff. But like, no, I mean that's sort of like that's the only good thing about their name is like it's marketing, genius.
Yeah, but so it's like
That's what I mean by that hot topic thing. Is like you don't have to like you can just put it on a shelf.
Oh, you mean like just like by looking at it? Yeah.
Not like necessarily like the short attention span.
I still kind of do that. I still kind of occasionally will blind buy something because I like the band's name. It actually usually works out fairly good for me because I have a pretty good grasp of what I will like. So.
I mean, it definitely works. I mean, that's the whole reason why I listen to the 3 Inches of Blood. That's.
Yeah.
I like them.
Yeah,
That's a
I do.
great
I like
name.
that. It is.
That's a great
That's a
name.
really good name.
And I like
But that's the
guy's
whole
name-
reason why I listened. I was like, man, fucking 3 Inches of Blood. I'm gonna check these guys out.
And I like the guy's name, Cam Pipes.
I don't know any of the guys.
That's a great name.
Yeah.
But the music, I don't mean it was uplifting to me, but the music was very uplifting. There was a lot of like, it looked like there was positive messages there was one that looked like, it was like an anti-teen suicide clip that I saw.
Because you don't want your fans to die.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they won't buy your records.
Right.
Unless you're a
Exactly.
black metal band.
Yeah, then you want them to. And you want to use their skulls.
Unless you're Burzum or something like that.
Yeah.
And you leave a note that says, sorry for the mess.
Yeah.
The guy from Mayhem did.
He ate it.
See,
He made it
folks,
back
I
to
do
him.
have some metal cred. What's
Yeah.
up?
You just read it in that book. So yeah, like
Just
it
do
was.
what happened.
It was like
Is that the book that was turned into a movie? What is it?
Until the
Lords
light
of
takes us.
Chaos.
Not the Lords of Chaos. Until
Until the light takes us.
I saw the premiere of that in Philadelphia.
Nice.
Actually.
It's out already.
No, they did a screening of it over on UPenn campus. My good buddy Tim, that's like super into black metal and death metal. Like he's like, dude, it was a funny story about this, and it's totally taking it off topic. But
Please do.
he's like, hey man, he called me up one day. He's like, hey man, you want to go see this documentary about, I thought he said Black Flag.
Okay.
And he's like,
Yeah.
and he's like, he's also into like, Tim and I grew up together going to punk and hardcore shows, and he, definitely moved on to more like, metal, more like the black metal and shit like that. And I never really went that direction. But he called me up and he's like, and he says this, and I'm like, oh, cool, man, yeah, I'll go. I didn't hear anything about this. Let's go check it out. He's like, yeah, there's a screening for it. I got some tickets, on UPenn campus. R5 is doing it. I was like, yeah, let's do it. So 2 weeks later, he picked, show day the show comes, he picks me up and we're driving. He's like, yeah, man, I'm really excited about this. He starts talking about it. And he's like, I was still under the impression that it was about Black Flag. And then somehow he's like, no, black metal. I was like, oh, well, fuck, I don't care. Whatever, man. Let's
I'm
do
already
it.
here. Let's do it.
So now I know about way too much about Norwegian black metal that I never actually
It
expected.
was pretty interesting.
It's
though, right?
really good,
Yeah.
actually.
I don't know what book that is. Do you have that book?
Nah, I knew I've heard about the movie.
But I did read Lords of Chaos. That was a really good book.
Okay.
What do you think of the Black Flag reunion? You think that's
Fuck, man. That's a bad impression.
I don't like
Here's the thing. There's two of them, right?
No, there's two Black Flags.
Yeah, what it
Neither
is.
of them have Henry Rollins.
Yeah, which I'm okay with.
Oh, he's not an original member.
He's not, and actually, Black Flag just booked a show at Union Transfer in Philly.
But yeah, I like that
Great
place.
venue.
It's an awesome venue,
I love
yeah.
that venue. Actually, we're now on tap there too. Little plug.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
I
I
know
wonder if
that-
we drank it that
We
night.
might have. We
No,
got
I
30
remember it.
things.
No, they did. They literally just got the beer.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, this was like a month and a half ago.
But Black Flag, the Black Flag that's playing at Union Transfer, which is doing like the tour in the States, is Greg Ginn, the original guitar player and the owner and creator of SST Records, and then Ray, the original bass player. I believe he was the original bass player, but then he moved on to be a singer, and that's when Chuck Koski joined. They're touring as Black Flag. I don't know who the two
like
other
the Queensryche thing.
It's something weird like that. It's so it's at least it's two original members, and they're doing it. I don't really like that version of it because the other version is they're just calling themselves Flag, and it's Chuck, the bass player, who for all intents and purposes is the original member to me. He's the longest running bass player. He joined after Ray left or stopped playing bass. And then you have the original singer, who's Keith Morris. Yeah, that's who it is. Keith Morris is the original singer, Ray's the original bass player, and then Greg Ginnan's the original guitar player for the life of me. I can't remember the drummer. But anyway, so Black Flag has Greg and Ray, but Ray, the original bass player, is now singing. Because I think he's, if I remember correctly, he started singing after Keith Morris left. But Flag, the band Flag, is Chuck, the bass player, who, for all intents and purposes, is the original member. You have the original lead singer, who's Keith Morris of Black Flag, Circle Jerks, and now is in a band with a bunch of other awesome dudes called Off. And then you have Bill Stevenson, who's not the original drummer, but was one of the, was a drummer for a while, and who's also, after Black Flag, went on to, start small bands like the Descendants and all. And then they have Stefan, the guitar player from Descendants, playing guitar. And actually, on top of that, they have Des Cadena.
Oh, wow.
Playing with them, too, that he got added onto it. So you have at least three. You have, the original singer. You have, a drummer who was in Black Flag during the Rollins era. Mm-hmm. So that's an important thing. And then you have essentially, as far as I'm concerned, the bass player from Black Flag.
So is that the better version?
It's totally the better version.
Yeah.
Not even that, like all those dudes, Keith Morris, Ginn hasn't been doing shit for the longest time. He's only doing it for fucking money because he's a jerk off. Because he,
But then he wrote all those songs.
Well, he did write the songs, but but not all. The thing is, you're talking about an era of punk rock. I want to know how much this motherfucker actually wrote, because I guarantee you Rollins wrote some of that stuff and just doesn't get credit for it.
Well, definitely in the later years, when they started getting really experimental.
Yeah, but even a lot, I guarantee you Rollins.
I think most of Damaged was written before he even came on.
Oh yeah, definitely. No,
it's such a great record.
It's one of those things where the Flag group has actually been actually practicing and touring musicians current anyway. Bill Stevenson has been doing the Descendants and doing all and all the stuff that he does musically, and it still continues. And outside of having some surgery, he had to have emergency surgery. I think he had a tumor taken out of his head or something like that.
Jeez.
He still has been I couldn't tell you the last time Ginn's done anything, and I think it's just fuck it, let's go out and make some money. Anyway,
have you seen the Tribe Called Quest?
I saw that documentary. That's fucking Beats Rhyme and Life is called. Dude, that's a really good documentary.
Yeah, they actually had to do their last tour because Fife Dog needed some money for some medical.
Well, yeah, he's super diabetic. When's the last time you saw a funky diabetic?
Yeah.
It was really good though.
No, it's a really, really good.
Good documentary.
I saw them in 1997 or 98 at Rec Hall in State College on campus at Penn State. Fucking awesome concert. One of my favorite hip hop groups.
Oh yeah, in my opinion, they're the best group, unquestionably.
Yeah, definitely top 5 for me.
Better than NWA?
Yeah, I like NWA, but it's not the same, man. It's just it's.
Let's be honest, they're kind of a one-trick pony. Let's be honest.
I wouldn't say they're a one-trick pony because all the
they're no ghetto boys.
The majority of the guys in the band ended up going on doing awesome shit.
Yeah. Dr. Dre's an immensely talented guy. There's no doubt, but with NWA, most of the thing was shock value at the time.
It was.
I enjoyed it though.
Oh yeah, it's good. I'm not saying it.
And I don't think they necessarily set out to be shock value. I think they were just literally, saying
this is what we know,
rapping about what they knew, and it just happened to be everything that white America hated.
Can we have a little toasty?
Say hi.
Yeah.
Come on.
Let's pour a little bit out.
Pour it out for our dead homies. All right, I guess that's what we have on. What were we talking about? Five Finger Death Punch.
5 Finger Death Punch.